ॐ ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता वन्दे गुरुपरम्परा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। As we have been discussing, basically, me being a human being is a mishra. So mishra means mixture of both punyam and papam. And when this punya gets expressed, it gets expressed in two folds. One is external, other one is internal. So also papam. With reference to external, we don't have control. In fact, we are helpless. Whereas with reference to internal, we have some type of say over it. I cannot say exactly control over it. Now, when I look at my life, especially when papam gets expressed, especially both externally and internally, I either break down or I behave differently. That's why if you see, anytime to start with papam, as we say, to kill a mosquito also is papam. Anything, because they have also their life. And interestingly, just diverting the topic. So there is one, because now in Bhubaneswar, there is called, they say called also Kumbh Mela everywhere. Okay, they say Mela. So Khandagiri Kumbh Mela. So different parts of sadhus, they come. So those days it was like this. On seventh day, Ratha Saptami, what we call, because this Masa, even though Masanam Marga Shiroham, but Magha Masam, this month is very auspicious. This Kumbha takes place. And here also people come, sadhus come on seventh day, take deep in Konarka, Chandrabhaga. There is a small river was once upon a time. So now there is a pond and they do prayer to Lord Surya. And from there, those days they will walk and come. Then here in Khandagiri those days, in Bhubaneswar now. So there will be Mela all sadhus. So I am coming to the point. So this year sadhu, there are two sadhus are very highlighted so far. One is called Kadali Baba, other one is called Mosari Baba, mosquito net Baba. Okay. So one is banana Baba, other one is called mosquito net Baba. So that's why I wanted to say. So today when I opened the newspaper, the first, so these two news came. So that's why. Coming to mosquito net Baba. So he puts a mosquito net and sits there. So now that photo is flashing everywhere. So why he put mosquito net, let us not get into. So killing even a mosquito is papam. So that papam may be very small, negligence. But remember, this comes under papam. That you are being born or you are being seated in a place where full of mosquito because of your what? External papam. Now, how you react to those mosquitoes? Again, you kill. Again, you create some more papas. Just I'm giving you practical example. You have choice. Okay, don't sit there, get out. Or if you have to sit there, and not that you have to get a mosquito net and carry yourself. Okay, don't do that. Okay. At least put some coils or some create some smoke, let them go away. So here what I'm trying to say is both external and internal, whether it is papam or punyam, governs our life. And as we have discussed in the last class up to this, when there is no internal growth, or when we do not really develop this internal punyam, we do not work for it, then what happens? Instead of facing situations, instead of improving ourselves, we try to present or show up ourselves to the society. That's why that was my last statement in the last class. Nowadays, we have everything plentifully, but one thing is lacking in us, that is called grace. Now, why we show up? In my last class, I was talking this. Today, I'm supposed to talk. Please understand. When my internal punyam is not strong, what is internal punyam? My disciplined life. I'm jumping a little bit carefully. Because when I relate with the society, or you can say when I'm alive, I have to relate. That's better. In fact, as long as I relate, that long I am alive. But the problem with all of us is, I remember in our childhood, because this childhood example observations very helpful whole life, but we forget. So as a child, especially teenager, when we go to see the movie, we enjoy the luxurious life of villain of a movie. When you go to see the movie those days in the big screen, wow. So we were fascinated with the luxurious life of villain. But we want to be accepted as hero. Can you see? Then we come back with a conflict. I have seen for myself. Whenever I go to movie, come back with a conflict, okay? What is this? Better not to go. It's like I can give you, I want to live like Ravana, but I want to be adored like Ram. Hey, Ravan is a great fellow, okay? Don't underestimate him, okay? He's not an ordinary person. He was not an ordinary person, okay? Once upon a time, he was the doorkeeper of Lord Vishnu. Because he got cursed, that's why he was being born. Okay, that's another. So that's why when you look at your life also, the way you are born, Maybe some curse somewhere you have got, that's why you are the way you are, okay? Or maybe some punyam, okay? Choice is yours. However, coming back to the point that to face especially external papam, I don't have strength. So when I don't have strength, I pretend myself. And this starts from our childhood. And if we observe, this is what the human mind. I remember every child, especially male child, before becoming teenager, wants to have mustache. And in Indian case I'm talking about, every girl child hidingly wants to take the sari of mother, wants to put. In each country, differently. That means the male child wants to replace father or wants to behave like a father, authoritative and whatnot. And the girl child wants to be like mother. It's a very amazing thing to observe. Because the child is not comfortable with one's own self. So this is our natural tendency. Nothing wrong in it. But as we grow old, are we not supposed to look at ourselves, look at situations? But unfortunately, we continue. In fact, those days, when a small girl, I'm talking about including nowadays in video, I also see, if a small girl puts a sari, that video becomes viral. Everybody appreciates. Really, it's very nice. Everyone appreciates. But here, when I grow up, when I pretend, nobody appreciates, including me, myself. That's why I start creating my fan group. You understand? What is fan group? Do you know this or not? Every actors, actresses, every politicians, nowadays the Swamijis also, they have called fan group. So fan group means nothing. You pay for it, okay? And you have to create your publicity. So that means you create your own so-called protecting layer. I remember one incident happened. So there is one guru. In between, his mileage went down because once in a while they have to be alive in the eyes of others, like politicians. So there was not much news. So what to do, what not to do. So he created one big news that somebody has done me false firing. Nothing has happened. So that became a news all over India, all channels. So that means the person again became alive for 6 months. So time to time they do it purposefully. So how you tell a lie and you get into your own mode. And the worst part is that once you start telling lie and enjoying that lie, nobody can help you unless you have both papam severe. That's why we say technically when a Shani, especially Sadasat comes, 7.5, teaches you in a very nice way. So to handle this, so what is to be done? So he says very carefully that one need to accept Īśvara before relating with anybody, anything. Because in relations, only there are two egos, not two human beings. Two individuals relate. So when two individual relates, you can observe, especially dog fight. Have you ever observed? Street dog fight. They have their own territory. And how they make their territory? By peeing. It's an amazing concept, okay? This is my territory. If any other dog comes, what the way they do it, you cannot, oh, so painful. Then after that, they look at each other. Because two individuals are meeting each other. Can you make out this point? That's why I'm giving you dog example so that you can understand better, easier. Then after all their exercises, if two individuals does not, agree with each other at least, then what will happen? There will be fight. But whereas if one dog puts the tail behind the hind legs, then what happens? They move together. I don't know whether you people have observed this scenario or not. It's a very funny thing to observe. So also we human beings. So we meet or we relate with other individuals. But here we meet with other individuals with a purpose or with an agenda. Let us be very clear. There two animals or two dogs, they meet with their instinctives. That's why they are called vimukta. They don't have agenda. They don't have even purpose. They just meet. Whereas when it comes to human being, human individuals meet with each other with an agenda. More with agenda than purpose. And when I meet with another individual with my agenda, always I want to put my agenda in forefront. And I forget that other person also equally is having agenda. That's why in the corporate world, you can see very well how they negotiate. So also in present day, please understand the relationship is completely based on agenda, not purpose. Once upon a time, you can look at your grandparents, maybe parents or grandparents. Sometimes parents nowadays is gone case. Grandparents, better word, so that safe. If you look at grandparents, their life, when they met each other, your grandmother and grandfather, they met each other with a purpose, not with agenda. And because they met with a purpose, or even if they didn't have purpose, some purpose was being created, developed. That's why they could relate with each other till their death. Whereas when you relate with somebody with an agenda, definitely your agenda is not going to be fulfilled. So when your agenda is not going to be fulfilled, what will happen to you? Will you relate with the person? Be honest. So that's why agenda-driven relationship will not last long. It is exactly like a broken mirror. We manage to see our face, but it is not good. That's why we say never ever keep broken mirror in house. If a little bit is broken in the mirror, we throw it. We don't keep it. So also agenda-driven relationship never allow. It's a waste of time. And unfortunately, nowadays, only agenda-driven relationship. That's why we say when you have agenda-driven relationship, you need to convert into a purpose. So that converting agenda to a purpose, you need some type of grace. And that grace will come when there is discipline. So the grace and discipline are two sides of the same coin. Wherever there is discipline, there is grace. In fact, when I am lack of discipline, I will have lack of grace. Now, again, when my relationship is completely agenda driven, now I don't have discipline because agenda driven, then what will happen? Not only I am in the hell, I will make everybody in hell. I'll give you a beautiful example. That is why we learn or we read Puranas. Through Puranas, we try to understand this concept very carefully. How this agenda pops up. You know, this is Shurpanakha. So Shurpanakha happens to be the sister of Ravana. And she was moving here and there. You can say spoiled brat or bratty with her group. She had her own group. Now, suddenly saw Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita in the forest. Then what happened? The story goes, she had her own agenda. She wanted to relate with Rama, with an agenda. And you know what was the consequences? In fact, because of that reason only, Ramayana war happened. So in short, when a person is agenda driven, not only person is in hell, will put everybody in hell. There we say very carefully, instead of agenda driven, while relating with agenda driven person, be disciplined. And that's why we have a beautiful concept. I'll bring God later on. Values much, much later. That's why we have this concept that Sandhya Snanam Japasyaiva Devatanam cha Pujanam Vaishwadevam Tathatithyam Shadkarmani Dine Dine. These are the 6 things to be done everyone, every day. This is the basic discipline. So when I am moving, so one is called Sandhya. So Sandhya means tuning or taking some time off for yourself from agenda-driven relationship to tune yourself with the God. That is called meeting point. One meeting point is that early morning, night and day, that meeting point, dawn. Second meeting point, 12 o'clock noon. So we are having class, okay, at least we have this meeting point. Third one would be evening, dusk, day and night. So these 3 are sandhyas. Fourth one is midnight. Midnight you are sleeping, don't worry. That's why to highlight this very nicely in our childhood, we have gone through this. They say very nicely that leaving behind 10 things, that to 10 important things that you are doing it, you can leave behind, have food. And remember, leaving behind 100 important things, go for shower, go for snanam. And leaving behind 1,000 things, spend time in puja or sandhya. But generally, what we do nowadays? If small work, somebody says, Swamiji, my computer is running, just rendering 5 minutes. Hey, food is waiting for you. Let the food wait. My computer cannot wait. You understand? Swamiji, I am on the call. Important call, important call. So food can wait, not the call. Can you make out? And of course, snanam, don't ask me. We'll be discussing all these things. What is snanam and what is shower? What is bath and what is shower? There's a big difference. So these are the comes under discipline part, okay? And that's why one need to work very carefully. So sandhya to be done. Even if you do not know, we'll be discussing how to do, what to do. That also will be part of this. But make sure during that time you are taking off. You are taking some time off. That's why we had those days. Evening time, you cannot go out. Evening time, you cannot do anything, including you cannot food, you cannot eat, you cannot sleep. By mistake, if we lie down in the evening, they will come and hit. No talk, okay? Get up. Even if you are sick, a sick person also will not be allowed. At least will sit down for a few minutes. Strictly was not allowed. Because I am highlighting this. First, make sure these are the meeting points. Spend some time with yourself. Swamiji, you don't understand, it's too cold. I get up around 6:30 because of class. That's how we manage to stretch. Good, continue. Nothing wrong in it. So that's why the first point would be that taking some time of Sandhya. And what is to be done in Sandhya? If we want to know, the basic thing is those who are well qualified, there is a procedure. Tarpana Adi. But if you are not well qualified, well trained, doesn't matter. At least take off, light a lamp, sit down, close your eyes, and at least do japam. One mala japam. During Sandhya time, I can say one mala japam. Because problem with all of us is if we try to use our logical mind, destruction starts. That's why present day, those who listens to especially this YouTube era, this digital era, people are more confused with more data. Earlier days, whatever whoever was saying, we used to follow, we used to listen to. Nowadays, everybody wants to hear, but nobody wants to follow. All of us are holding huge data bank. However, first thing is Sandhya means nothing. During, actually, technically, with this I'll stop it so that I'll go Snanam later on. During Sandhya, by default, our breathing comes in both the nostrils. Generally, when the breathing is predominant in right nostril, mind is very active, agitative. When the breathing is predominant in left nostril, lazy, lethargy. So you can say rajasic and tamasic. Whereas when the breathing in both the nostril, what we call as a sushumna, that time mind is very calm, productive. And interestingly, during Sandhya Kalam, breathing is in both the nostrils. So that's why first you need to look at this is Sandhya aspect. I request all of you, don't change the, because you people are disturbing, few people are here. According to you people, convenient changing the videos, switching off, switching on. What is going on? This is not right, okay? Om, Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, all of you.